Tom Homan, who's the former ICE director who was going around saying all sorts of horrible crap about it. I can't even remember now what it was. But he's on Laura Ingraham's show. I think he's taking a quick break from maligning brown people and basically speaking out against California wanting to ban private prisons and private ICE detention centers.
So he's still maligning brown people.
Right, of course. He's just not doing it explicitly because this is what I want to task people with. Find out which board of directors he sits on of which private prison company. I mean, I think it's like there's, or who he's lobbying for, but whatever it is. There's the idea that this guy's not making any money from a private prison complex. Very possible, highly unlikely. And I would include in that also like food services or whatever it is that he's, like we sell tasers to private prisons or whatever it is.
Well, he's in the PR wing of the private prison industry for Fox News as a Fox News contributor.
Indeed. But here he is basically spreading. And there's so much data on the inefficiency of private prisons that it's stunning. I mean, it's really one of the most, and like all this work was done 5 or 6 years ago. But here he is.
Newsom needs to remember he's part of the United States. California is in the United States.
Is it still, Tom, really?
Well, he's supposed to be. And look, he ought to spend less time in El Salvador trying to talk more people to come to this country illegally and take care of the homeless problem he has in California. And I've many times been in California. How many homeless veterans on the streets of California? Yet he's running down El Salvador to try to get more illegal aliens come. And he wants to shut down ICE facilities, put U.S. citizens out of work. And he says he's doing this for the immigrant community. But again, let me be frank on this. This will damage the immigrant community. They don't want to leave the state. They don't want to leave their families. They certainly don't want to go to a county jail in Louisiana or Texas. Our facilities are grade A, highest detention standards in industry. Anybody can go to ICE.gov website, look at the detention standards. Highest in industry, lowest deaths in custody of any state or federal facility.
So whether they're for-profit or not for-profit, or they're run by the government, high standards.
High standards. And
pause it. Now, just take 1 second and contemplate who are in ICE detention facilities versus who are in federal and state prisons. And then ask yourself, is that really a big achievement? Lowest number of deaths? You're putting people who have not broken the law in any way, certainly not violent offenders, families into these detention centers. And you're bragging that we have fewer deaths than in places where we have like people who are there for murder or for assault or.
Nice of him to recognize the southern prisons being especially bad. That's pretty woke.
Yeah. But continue.
Or not for profit, or they're run by the government, high standards.
High standards and highest in the industry. And plus, the private sector does things better than the government. The most expensive beds ICE has, are the ones we own. We don't do it very well. The government, the contractors, they do this for a living. They're accredited.
Right.
They're the highest.
But it sounds good, right? We're going to shut down the profit making.
That's what it's about. He wants to run for president.
Separating families.
He wants to run for president.
Yeah, we're going to shut down the profit making and
we're going to stop profiting off of kidnapping children and imprisoning people in a money-making capacity.
The way that
August 18th, 2016, the Justice Department announces that they plan to end the use of private prisons because officials concluded the facilities are both less safe and less effective at providing correctional services than those run by the government. The idea that you can have a business that sets aside a certain amount of its resources for profit and it be less expensive begs the question as to like what's going on at those prisons that you're able to both set aside money for profit and make them more cost effective.
Well, from their point of view, it's a win-win-win because they don't view prisoners as people And if they get to bleed them dry for the commissary or whatever and make a profit off it, that's an added bonus.
There you go.